learners, and welcome back to another at-home science experiment from Spectrum. My name is Bree, and today we are going to be doing the polar bear blubber experiment. What you'll need for today's experiment are a few plastic or latex gloves, and you will also need a Ziploc baggie or two. Additionally, you will need a rubber band, and you'll also need some shortening, which you might have in your household because people use it to fry foods, but you can also pick it up at a grocery store if you don't have any. Something you might be able to use instead of that is coconut oil if you have any of that in your house. You'll also need a big fresh bucket of snow. If you're in Missoula right now, you might have lots of fresh snow on the ground to pick up. If you're going to use snow from outside, make sure that it's smooth snow, so snow that no animals or people have walked through, and make sure that it's fresh white snow. If you are not in Missoula, or if you're watching this video at a time where we don't have any snow on the ground, you can also fill this bucket up with cold water and some ice cubes to create a cold environment. So for the experiment, we are going to think about what it might be like to be a polar animal. So polar bears or penguins, animals that have layers of blubber to keep themselves warm in cold temperatures, like temperatures that we're experiencing right now during winter. Leave your hand in the bucket for a few seconds. What does the snow feel like? You're probably feeling a pretty cold temperature. And you might even be feeling the heat from your hand start to melt the snow around your hand. Next, you're going to fill one of your Ziploc baggies with Crisco, our shortening. And you're going to mush it around to make sort of a pancake in the bag. And now we're going to place our gloved hand into the Crisco. And we're going to mush the Crisco around our fingers so that our fingertips are pretty much covered, and maybe like the length of your fingers are covered. And if you'd like to prevent some mess, you can tie off the top of the bag with a rubber band. We're going to pack down our snow and put our hand back in, but we are going to put our hand in with the Crisco now. How is this time different than the first time you had your hand in the snow? This time your hand might not feel as cold, or it might take a longer time to feel cold. You also might notice that the snow around your hand isn't melting as much as it did the first time without the Crisco. When you have finished your experiment, you'll take the end of your glove and roll it right over your bag of Crisco. That way we don't have any mess, and you can take this right to the trash can. You can also have a paper towel handy so that you can set things on that and they won't make a mess. You can also think of some other ways you might be able to insulate your hand. Humans, although we don't have the up to 4 inches of blubber that polar animals do, we do have some fat in our bodies no matter what size or shape we are. And that fat has a lot of different uses in our body, but one of them is to keep us warm. But because we don't have the adaptation of blubber, humans do other things to keep us warm in the winter. What are some things you can think of that keep you warm in the winter? Some things I use to keep me warm in the winter are my coat, my mittens, and my hat. These things all add extra layers to the human body in order to insulate us or keep in the heat that we're losing as we walk and talk and move about our day. Some variations you could do with this experiment are to perhaps use feathers or dirt or rocks rather than Crisco, and see how those things change or do not change the temperature of the snow when you put your hand in the snow. Thank you so much for watching. We hope that you stay warm and have a great time using your creative energy and thinking of different ways you might be able to insulate yourself in our snow experiment. Keep an eye out for more Spectrum at Home Science videos. Thank you!